Hey, what's up, everybody? We're doing a review of AEW Dynamite. Hey, just be prepared on the channel. There's going to be some late reviews, some late podcasting. I had some plumbing done, and I tried to get some editing done, and there was just no way I can get it done as quick as I could. So, just let you guys know. I even told my co-host, be patient. It'll be a little late. We kind of went on a tangent about WWE, SummerSlam, and Raw, and the whole nine. I still feel the same way on a Wednesday, on a Thursday, early Thursday morning as this recording's happening. I feel the same way. Um, you know, um, I still stand by what I said. Brock Lesnar is officially retired. He announced that on the Pat McAfee show. He is officially done, and that's that. So I'm a little disappointed how he went out the way but he said that's the way he wanted to go out. So it is what it is. Um, this review is for August 5th, 2026 for AEW. We're going to be talking about a lot of other things too on top of it. WWE has poor ticket sales for Mexico. The Lakers are all over the place. My Lakers, the number one tribal chief. My Lakers are all over the place right now with final players. They're trying to get their final roster. You know, should Dalton connect? Should he stay or should he go now? Bonnie James, what are we doing? So anyway, let's get into AEW Dynamite Mexico City Grand Slam. I don't know, my key takeaways. I don't know if Smooth agrees with me with this one, but my key takeaways tonight on AEW is this. I feel like they should have built more for All In with this show. I felt that it was missing something, especially with Will Ospreay. I felt it was a little missing Kenny Omega. I'm glad to see MJF back in the fold. It's a win-win situation. He looks good. Holding the title like that, you lost the title fair and square. You got pinned in the ring, bro. It doesn't matter. You could sit here and make all the excuses you want, MJF, but you lost. You lost. Take your L. You're holding a belt. What are you gonna be, CM Punk, like the Summer of Punk, where he was holding two belts, like when John Cena, and who was the real true champion? I think it's and you know what? I'm gonna tell you this now, my co-host. Boy, I feel vindicated. I feel right because we're heading to a triple threat. I feel like we're heading to a triple threat.
AEW World Championship match.
Yep. I feel there's a triple threat brewing. It's either that or it's going to be MJF Andrade for the national title.
Well, basically, what tonight, as we saw the return of MJF, as I saw it as well, they are looking to set up they're looking to set that up more so than Andrade being in the Casino Gauntlet.
Well, okay, tonight the way MJF's acting, the way they're playing this off, MJF's going to be in that title match, no matter whatever it is. They're going to find a way to put him there.
Oh yes,
This gauntlet is just set up for a triple threat. That's what it screams to me. Triple threat for the title. I still have Will Ospreay going over.
Yes.
I think Will will pin just to protect Kenny. I think they'll have him pin Will Ospreay. Or sorry, MJF.
Oh.
Sorry, MJF.
Okay. Oh, well, because yes, and I look at it that way because you still want that. You still want that. As I would say, that rivalry going between Omega and Osprey.
Yes.
So what and what you can do is, as you said, they could work that into a triple threat. Now, how do we now? This is what we also talk about at times. We see it, but now it's time to get us there because we have 3 more weeks until we touch All in London. So we have to get there and build us in. How we gonna get there? So that's
well, they're gonna tell you through these little casino battle royale or sorry casino gauntlet matches. I think that's what they're gonna go for. Now, where I'm more interested in than anything right now is that Continental Cup. I'm very fascinated how they're gonna play this out for the next 3 weeks. It's kind of
Of course.
they're kind of playing behind the eight ball with that. I think they're playing far behind with that. They're gonna.
Okay.
I feel like it's gonna be a little rushed. Um, Another thing I do like is the fact that they're not taping Collision. TK,
No.
you are learning. You need to keep Collision away. Like stop the taping, but stop having the two rosters together. Build a separate roster for your separate show. Do the same thing with Ring of Honor. Trust me when I say this. A lot of people don't want to hear this from me. AEW has a stacked roster, and I would rather see others get featured. Your problem is what AEW is the same with WWE. They're running into where they keep featuring the same people. And the problem is you need to build talent. And right now, what they should do is take Darby Allin, Kevin Knight. They should take those guys and put them on Collision. Hear me out. Why? Because then you get a fresh look on Collision and you necessarily could see what you have in the toolbox with these wrestlers. Like Mike Bailey could be something, but I feel like tonight with I feel with the Protostar, I feel like it was a wasted opportunity. You belt this guy, he had him win the contract at his hometown, kind of like a feast or fire or a money in the bank. To me, I felt that was a missed opportunity by the the people that book, right? I feel Mike Bailey should have been holded off until All In. He wins it instead of just let's just do this real quick. And this is a typical AEW thing, right? Where they just go full in. Next week we're doing this, and it's like, can you just hold off on this? This moment is special. Why don't we
And because
let Mike Bailey get to All In, and then let's have that cash in happen.
yeah, and let's build and we should have promo sessions between Carl Fletcher and Mike Bailey because because of that tie 1-1. They'll say well, I beat you one time. No, I beat you the other time, and it just and you can have something go a little back and forth with the promos, and and a little bit of physical activities along physical altercation along the way. But to do it at Grand Slam Mexico, I mean, very nice, but no, should have done it. It should have been
I'm
done.
also going to say this. I don't want to hear from any of the gamudgets because I hear this all the time. Oh, AEW does amazing shit. I watched it for the first time. Oh my god, it's great. No, we got to call out the bullshit when we see it. Tonight, I felt Mike Bailey. I felt that could have been holding off until All In. I don't mind having lots of matches for a WrestleMania type pay per view. To me, I come from the old school underground like yourself, and I just feel like, look, 4 or 5 hours I'm cool with. As long as the matches are good, as long as it has a good ebb and flow. I know it's gonna go on early. I'm gonna have my breakfast in the morning and probably get up early, have breakfast, have coffee, and sit down and enjoy the show early. You know what I mean? I'm cool with that as long as it has an ebb and flow. As long as it's not WWE where we get 3 hours of garbage and then we get told, oh well, gee willikers, fans just don't get it. Okay, Triple H. All right. We just don't get it. We just don't get it.
And another thing too, I said to you, I said to you on Monday when we did the recording in regards to what Silent Monster was listening to in regards to Triple H stating that these talents should just stop complaining stop complaining in regards to getting pushed. And I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, you should be voicing your opinion when you're not getting pushed. That's what it's about. But see, remember, WWE says we will push you when we want to.
Well, WWE, what they're doing is they're either you go with our way, get released, or i.e., if you're gonna complain, we'll just cut you, or i.e., take a less. I mean, at this point with WWE, and I'm gonna be honest, and I know we're doing this in an AEW review. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
say the problem is with WWE is this: you have boring ass matches, you have people walking off your product, you have
Yep.
fans done, you're nickeling and diming every which way. And instead of saying, okay, here's a good gesture from us, WWE, to keep you guys around, They're doing everything in their power to say fuck the fans, and that's what they're doing in live time. And on top of that, if you really want to go there, my co-host, it's they're so tone deaf. They don't see what's in front of them. Triple H thinks the product is all great in Mayberry, but real people like you and I that have been watching for 30 years or more are turning around and going, take a step back, walk that shit back. No, you're wrong. You're an idiot, Triple H. You need to walk that shit back. And
Yeah, walk it.
it's disrespectful.
Yeah, you have to walk it back because you have to realize what you're doing is not good at all. And then you're telling us that we have to just accept the shit as it comes. No, 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 no. This is why people took to social media after the two night SummerSlam, Sunday night into Monday morning, and was complaining, and they're still complaining now. They're still complaining up to now, and they have their right. You have to give. They're complaining about the things that we have discussed about so many times. So I'm glad that people are now starting to realize that if they don't care about you, you gotta use your pocket and say, I'm not paying for that product. I'm gonna go somewhere else where I am treated fairly and very well and take it from there.
Well,
So
here's your problem. You are not building youth. I'll say this again, like I said that'll be up for you guys as well at the same time as this one. The problem that you're having right now is you're not pushing youth. The thing when we were kids, you got debuts like Rock and Maivia, the Nation of Domination. You had the upcoming of Marty Jannetty, and you were building for the future. You were building for the future TV. You have belt stars. You made people feel 100, and you made it into a fan experience. And I said this in my night one review. Vince McMahon wouldn't have allowed half of the shit. Yes, he's a predator. Yes, he's a scumbag. Yes, I know. I bring up his name, and I'm going to hear that. Yes, but you got to give Vince McMahon credit. He did fan service. Yes, his booking at the end was garbage. Yes, he was a little stagnant. But when it came to the fans and it came to when putting on good shows, Vince did that. I will give him that. I will give him the respect that man deserves with that one. Him as a person, piece of garbage, right? He's in the same conversation as P. Diddy. We'll just put it that way. For me, I'll put it that way. But Vince McMahon, the character, and Vince McMahon, the booker and promoter, different story. Different story. I could the same with Chris Benoit. I can separate the wrestler from the personal guy, right? The personal guy, piece of trash, right? We can all say what he did. There's speculation and shit like that. We could say, okay, yeah, all right. But at the wrestler, he was phenomenal in my eyes because I grew up with him, and it was sad what happened, hands
it
down.
was.
And there's so much shit that goes alongside of him. He is a can of worms that I won't. I've had people ask me how I feel about Benoit. It's a shitty situation. It could have been a cover up. It could have been a million different things. We don't know. And still to this day, people are still digging that trench and trying to figure out what happened. And we can all sit here and speculate on that. But my point is, when it comes to WWE, it's in the shit bowl, and they're doing everything in their power to take the gun and blow their foot off, take the shotgun, blow themselves up, or blow themselves, to smithereens, live on camera. I just don't get it. I don't. I still don't get it. And I'm trying to keep things more guys. I'm trying to keep things more professional as we talk, more podcasty. I noticed in the episodes that we record, sometimes I go on tangents, and I want to do more of these podcasts. Like, I've been watching shows. Like, I want to sit down with my co-host and actually have a conversation, not just go on tangents all the time. So,
Of course.
co-host,
Because
how do you feel about WWE? I know you say protest this, protest that.
well, look, for me, like I said, I still feel that that you have to protest it because when they're not giving you the best quality product that they can
Absolutely.
put out there, then you have to just speak with your wallet. It's not just your voice; you have to speak with your wallet. Once they see that, then they'll make then they can say, you know what, we have to make a difference. So I was listening to the Culture Growth show from today.
Well, let's speak. Let's speak on. Let's. I know you were very animate when we were talking. You brought him up a bunch. Solid Monster.
Ye-
So why?
Yeah.
So why were you so upset and animate? Because
Well,
I'm going to
okay,
say this real
okay.
quick. Just say this real quick. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I'm going to say this.
Go ahead.
Guys, we talk about YouTubers all the time on this show. We don't give two shits. We keep it 1000%. We see everything on YouTube. We watch a lot of content between each other. I watch a lot of wrestling content. The reason we react to a lot of these people because in the IWC, YWC, we got to keep people honest. That's just the way I
Yes,
see it. And I want people to keep us honest. If we say something wrong, please say something. And if we do, I will on the next show, I'll be a man and I'll say I was wrong. You know, same with Smooth. If we say something out of bounds or something out of line, we will make sure to correct ourselves next show. For sure.
yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, of course. So with me, when it comes to Solid Monster, and I heard that for me hearing that clip that he put out there when Triple H was talking about not so much about the fans, but it was the talent that was complaining that they're not being pushed, and they're going up to Triple H and saying, you know, I'm not being pushed, and I would like to be pushed, and to the contrary, they're getting, well, you got to just keep it quiet, or else you may get released, you may have your pay reduced, or you just may get cut. So let me get this straight here, Salamonster. You felt as though that the fans wasn't just complaining. Well, guess what? The talent is complaining as well, brother. They're complaining that they are not getting pushed, they're not getting paid very well, and if they do complain, they get cut, they get released, and then what? They, and then what now? Oh, well, all of a sudden we have to accept the product that's out there. Maybe the talent is looking at it as well. Don't you
Well,
feel
take a
they
look.
got to blame
Take a look
themselves
at. Let me
too?
give you an example. Take a look at the NFL. Take a look at holdouts. Right. There's a reason why they
Yes,
have a holdout. That's why some players sit out. Um, contract disputes, things like that. The problem is with WWE, we don't have a players union for wrestling. We just don't.
no, no,
And
no.
and I know senators and things like that have talked about this, and there should be a players union to where, or at
But
least a
then again,
wrestling guild. But then
they
you
tried
have
it,
they tried it and it
but
failed.
they, they tried it because what happened was the top wrestlers was having top earnings, and everybody else wasn't. And the top wrestlers who's earning those top earnings said, "Nah, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this," because then they ha- they felt as though they were going to suffer.
Sorry, guys, with my moving of the mic in this recording. My bad.
Yeah, so they felt as though they were going to suffer with the wrestling. I guess with their wrestling fraternity being unionized. And now you're starting to see that, now you're starting to see that, oh, the booker is going to say to you, well, be quiet. You're just going to have to do what we want you to do, and don't complain about you not getting pushed, and saying I want to get pushed,
Well, to
or
Solid
else
Monster's point. So here's me to him. Here's his point. Here's his flaws. What he just said on that. I'll argue it back. You have a wrestler
okay,
called Roman Reigns, right?
there you
You have a
go.
wrestler called Roman Reigns. That's um, we call him Roman Reigns Lunk, right? Or Unk.
Roman Unk Reigns.
Roman Unk Reigns. Basically, that is holding back wrestling, kind of like what LeBron James is doing with NBA, right? It's in the same vein. Roman Reigns is going to go until he's 50 years old. There is no doubt about it at this point. He's too egotistical to get out of the way and let younger talent take over. He still wants to be in the spotlight. He's probably going to be a champion like Hulk Hogan. The problem is with Hulk Hogan always, and I've always said this, and I will say this on the show, he was holding back talent later on in his career. And it really
Amen.
showed when he entered TNA, him and Bischoff, it really showed. And this is the problem with Roman Reigns.
Yes.
He's holding back younger talent. You're not going to see people like Jacob Fatu. You're not going to see people like Zilla Fatu if he shows up in WWE. You're not going to
Oh, and
see
oh,
Carlos.
and
Go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go. No, and no, no.
You're not going to see
I'll let you
Cruz
go.
Montana. You're not going to see any of these other talents really kind of show what they are. Take a look at Ilya Dragunov because of this kind of shit. And I think Rollins is kind of doing the same thing. Cody's doing the same thing. These people don't want to take a step back and let
No,
younger talent go over. And that's unfortunate. And they're not taking the Charlotte Flair. I got to give Charlotte on this show. I'm going to say this: mad respect to Charlotte Flair. She has taken a
Charlotte.
back seat to a little bit of everything.
Yes, she has. Yes, she has. Well, she had to learn. She had to learn a hard lesson, a very hard lesson in that. Oh, just because that you are top billing that you're gonna that you want to compete for a championship every single time. No, sometimes you're gonna have to just take a step back because you have a talented women's as they would say, you have a talented women's roster full of young women that are competing. So hey, kudos to her because I guess what is it from everything we heard from that, it was Alexa Bliss that kind of opened up the light to her for that. So
Well, and I'm also going to say this about AEW. There was reports that came out. Tony Storm is far not along in her process of getting healthy. I get,
no,
and they've been really key. And that's another thing I don't like about AEW. Some things I wish they would come out and say, like, okay,
no key. But
Tony Storm has a neck injury, so we all can go, oh, okay, now we understand why. You know what I mean? Now we get why she's
uh
being held back.
okay, that's
Yeah, I
what
would
it
like to
is.
hear what or at least you say, okay, she has an injury. I don't need you to
But
cover that up.
but remember they said that she was going to be out for an extended period of time, and I said she ain't coming, and I said she's not coming back anytime this year. Forget that.
I think she honestly got hurt, and I think either back injury. See, if you're out this long, I'm assuming back
Legit,
injury,
that
neck
was legit
injury.
hurt. From what we saw in the back, that was legit hurt. I don't know what kind of hurting that Marina Sophia put on her, but that was a big hurt. I
Well,
said,
I'm
"Oh
assuming she
shit!"
got written off because she was injured, and I'm
Yeah, she got
assuming
written
how
off.
severe was the injury.
Yeah,
Kind of
so
like
yeah,
Will Ospreay in a lot of ways. Now there was some creative for her, somewhat, and then from what I saw in reports, this is all reportedly online that they pulled
yeah,
it back, and then due to her injuries. Remember,
that's
guys,
why.
Tony Storm went on for 2 3 years with like a locomotive. Like there was no doubt. Every extreme match I
Yeah,
saw her in,
of course.
I was telling you like she's gonna end up getting hurt like MJF really really
And,
bad.
and now she is.
Yeah.
Now she is,
And
and
yeah,
she's
people got
not.
to be patient, right? Tony Storm doesn't need to come back right now.
No, 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 no.
She had
Next
a
year,
good 3 year run, best matches
if,
that I've ever seen from her.
if I'm looking at it, I will hold her back till next year.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like you don't need like right now personally, this is what I see for the rest of the year. I see CMLL bleeding the lines into AEW, which is a win-win because CMLL, let's keep it for real, they don't have a TV deal. They do everything like live events, and their events always sell out. I would love to go to one of their events just because how I saw tonight at Reno, Mexico. I want to go to it
Oh,
live for sure.
oh yes. So soak it in. That's why they call it the Cathedral of Lucha Libre.
Well, I've always loved how different countries do it better than us. I've always said this as wrestling fan. Other countries do it better than us. They get more lively than us.
Yes, because they bring what is it, that soccer feel into it.
Yes, they
It's a
do
soccer.
for
They
sure.
bring that because listen, Team Mexico, man, they're passionate about their soccer, and they'll bring that soccer feeling into a wrestling match, just like what you see you're in the European nations. Like
Exactly.
when we get because before All In, AEW stops off at the the OVO Hydro in Glasgow. That's gonna be one right there, leading into All In.
Well,
That's gonna be a
I'm just
show
gonna
for
say
that one.
this. I'm gonna say this. I now understand MJF is being put back in the fold. I get the vision of
Yes,
that match now, and now this makes sense. But I have a funny feeling that MJF's gonna take the pin to protect Kenny Omega, and you'll still get Will Ospreay, which will set up
uh,
for what we have been saying for months now. Me and you have scripted this whole thing. Credit to both of us. We have literally scripted the whole Kenny Omega and
We
Will
wrote it down.
Ospreay feud.
Listen, it started with a little bit of notes, and then all of a sudden we went into movie script mode, and we said,
We've been
okay,
right, and we've been really right. Like I've called it on the money. I said MJF's going to be penciled in to All In, and he's
yes,
gonna walk. He's gonna have his title on his hand. He's gonna say he never lost, and
yeah,
then
yeah, of course,
they're
of
gonna make
course.
it. They're gonna put him in this feud, and then Kenny Omega is gonna be a triple threat at that point.
Well, okay, so and I'm gonna intertwine this with MJF and these three guys. Okay, Will Ospreay, and we know Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega have that rivalry from New Japan, New Japan coming into AEW. Okay, Ospreay also has that rivalry with who? MJF.
MJF too. Yeah,
MJF.
it goes both ways. Yeah.
MJF. Because remember, who was the last person to pin MJF when they were in
Well, remember the
when
last thing we saw with MJF and Will Ospreay was that MJF spit on him and he was about to beat the shit out of him.
boom. No, but also too, remember that international championship match
Yes, I do.
2 years ago.
Yep.
And the freaking promo sessions that went on for the you see that back then 2 years ago you didn't have the whole pay-per-view cutting in between. You was building and you built very well. Then when they got to Wales, well, on the homeland of the UK, they saw him bleeding.
Has Will
okay.
Ospreay won any other championship? Has he won any championships in AEW yet?
Well, he won the international title.
Did he?
He won the international title. Yes, he did.
Oh, okay.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
He won the international title 2 years ago. From what it was, he won the international title the first time, and then MJF took it from him.
Okay.
Then it went back to then that was when they started the whole build up for All In.
Here's my thing with AEW, and here's my ultimate thing with this.
Okay.
They need to stop the hot potato titles. Will Ospreay should hold the belt at least 4 months or more.
More. I'm gonna go more with that because you invested much into this. Let them have it for more, and put them in good situations that would make him look stronger. Because we don't want the fact that when he gets the belt, it's gonna look like a Cody Rhodes situation.
And I'm going to say this tonight. I am getting I don't know about you, but I'm getting so sick and tired of Willow Nightingale. I'm over it. Another fruit roll up.
Listen, they're building that up towards her losing against Mercedes Moné.
Thank God. Holy.
You have to look in the storyline. What's Moné going to say to her in the last 3 weeks? Oh, you got everything so easy. You're winning easy. You can't beat me straight up. It's coming. Watch the promos. Watch.
Well, I'm just gonna say, like, all Willow Nightingale matches are, I do a few moves, fruit roll up, 1, 2, 3, game over. It's getting old. Isn't it just me? I don't know. Maybe I'm on a different island. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm seeing things differently. You know, I like I said to that chick in the when I quote tweeted and I said, "What are you smoking? What am I not seeing? What you're seeing?" And I see this on YouTube with all these new people coming from WWE and starting to watch AEW and all this fake happy shit, and I'm turning around going, "What are you seeing that I'm not seeing?" Because I've been watching AEW since the very beginning. And Willow Nightingale, I've seen win so many championships. And every time she wins a championship, it's a fruit roll up. And I'm going to criticize AEW for it because of the same company that bashed WWE for doing it.
I don't know if it's her that's doing it herself or what, booking that's allowing her to do all these fruit roll-ups. But listen, we're going to get the last 3 weeks and leading into All In. Moné's going to start saying, "You're getting these easy wins that you can't beat me straight up 1-on-1. Watch what happens." It's gonna go into Moné getting the title. It's gonna
Monet, I'm
happen.
gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna be honest with you, co-host. Smooth.
Yes.
I think Monet should. I agree with that, and I honestly think Willow Nightingale. I no more titles for her for a while.
Well,
That's my person.
she's probably gonna get written off. The
Good,
thing is,
good.
she's gonna get written off after that title match because where else can you
Oh
go?
no, it's TK. Hold on. Do. I already see her. She's
No,
the John Cena. She's literally the John Cena. She'll take it off
no.
of no. She'll have smiles and she'll be, hey, Maya's world, by the way,
I get a little bit more.
I'm owed my rematch.
No, Willow.
Watch,
You can't.
watch.
No, Willow. Willow,
This is
go,
typical. This is
go
typical AEW with
away,
her.
go away. You
You
see,
know, I'm gonna
you
smile
hold them.
and look
Listen.
good.
Okay, I'm starting to get with the Willow Nightingale situation. She's holding back talent. She's holding back Persephone.
Yeah, you know what? Yes, that shouldn't. I'm gonna be real with you.
She's holding back Persephone. Like,
I
why are
don't
we having
understand
Persephone?
why
See,
TK. I don't
question,
understand what
question.
TK sees.
Why are we having Persephone facing off against Chris Statlander in Mexico in a non-title match when she should be facing off against My World again in Mexico for the TBS title and winning? She said she wants two belts. Give it to.
Okay, so this is what they did tonight with that, right? So, like I told
Okay,
you, co-host, when we were first talked
they
off air,
intertwined everything. They were
off a
intertwining.
recording. So what they
Yes,
did was is Persephone is the women's world heavyweight title of CMLL, right?
okay,
What they
okay,
did was is because Thunder Rose and her have heat between each other, she screwed
and
with, and then it went into it blurred the lines of Chris Statlander's added. Now Sheeta's added. Then for My World at the end after Chris Statlander lost came in, and then they're all looking at each other. So that sets up for either a CMLL heavyweight championship match at All In, which it'll be one of the extra matches next to the Ring of Honor champion. So I see what they're doing with it, or they'll have some type of special match down the road,
yeah,
either at a CMLL event or at a New Japan event
that's true.
or
But yeah,
Dynamite.
it was high in the Mayan world that came in for the save
Yeah,
for Chris Statlander. So yeah, we'll see. But the intertwining of it, hey, you know what? That's good for them to do that because it
but
shows.
you want a different outcome. Honestly, I get you there with that one too.
Yeah, because okay, I would say if you're gonna intertwine with it and do it, yeah, pull the trigger and get that belt off of
I have a
Thunder
question:
Rosa.
Is Persephone mainly signed to AEW, or is she just CMLL
She
all the way?
she's in a hybrid, which means she platoons between both.
Well, my question is then here's my thing. She's mainly for AEW under this high end or hybrid contract. My thing is
Yeah,
with that is why are we not seeing her more in AEW, and why in the hell are we not doing something with her that at least gives her some type of a gold, or at
that's
least
true.
bring her up a
She should.
level? She could go over to Ring of Honor right now and win the world women's heavyweight title at this point.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of
I think
course.
now at this point, Athena is holding. I can say this now. I think Athena is holding back Ring of Honor. I get it. She wants to be the student teacher, and she wants to set the. Look, you could do that without a belt. You could do
True.
that without a belt. And if you really want a belt, why don't you go down a level and win the Pierce Championship off of Diana Peraza? That's a crime in itself. I can go on an hour long rant about fucking how I feel about Diana Peraza not being put on the main roster
That's true.
when the fact she was TNA champion for so damn long. It's like, what do we do?
Yeah,
And then we're also bringing in, sorry, Knockouts champion. I should say that better. I just really feel like you're bringing in her husband into the company. Wouldn't you put her like, I don't know what she did to piss off TK or what she said, but at the end, I know she praises TK because TK gave her a lot of time off to do schooling, and TK is very generous. But Why do we still have her in Ring of Honor when she's better than that?
True. True.
It's like
So
it's like WWE when they brought her to the main roster, they didn't know what to do with her. That's why
she
she
was,
asked for her release.
yeah, because they didn't know what to do with her. That's the same thing that they did with what's her name, Tony Storm. Messed her up
Yes.
in the main roster, and
Tony
they
Storm was
all
hotter than shit when they brought her in, but then they turned around. Vince wanted her to be a model.
yeah, fuck up, a fucking piece of whatever. So
Right.
yeah, but for tonight's show, I I say it was very good. Though you know what? Yeah, I get what you're saying. Mike Bailey should have walked out the
I'm
international
not
champion.
asking to walk out. That should have been a fucked match. Like something
Fuck
should
Mac.
have like Okada interfered, right? They're setting up to me. Let me be real here, and I'm going to say this one more time about Okada. They're butchering this man. It's a
Yeah.
crime. It's a crime because he looks so stupid. It's like this man knows how to speak somewhat English. You are literally treating him like he's stupid. And it's another shit skin. I don't know what it is here in America with American promotions. Why are we screwing up so hard? New Japan royalty. I have friends that text me and tell me on a consistent basis, like Coco Sports, how do you find way? He tells me, how do you find ways to butcher this man? When in New Japan he was booked like $1 million. He won their world heavyweight title so many times and so
Yeah,
many
I know.
legendary matches. And it's like
I
it's
know.
baffling.
I know. But see, that's the same thing that's going on with WWE and New Japan talent that goes there as well.
Evil, don't get me started with Evil. They changed his name to whatever, and it's been horrible.
Yeah. Well, now he can't challenge for a title unless Tony D'Angelo loses that. So, okay. You didn't give him the title because they said, "Oh well, Tony D is strong." No, if you're gonna do that, Tony D should be on the main roster.
Oh,
Then
and
Evil,
by the way, I appreciate what Grayson Waller did, but it ain't gonna go that far.
no,
You know who else did
no,
that? Killer Cross before he left, or
yeah,
killing, whatever.
carrying Cross before yeah, he did that. So what that entails to me is Grayson Waller's on the way out. I wouldn't be surprised he will be on the next round of releases from WWE.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's a
Yeah,
drop the ball
he's
right
on his
there.
way out. That's what happened. That's when they start coming out and doing these shoot promos and these what is it, pipe bombs and all that. Nope, you're out. This time they're gonna say nope, you're out. They let CM Punk do that, and look what happened.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
They shit hasn't been the same since that one.
And by
Wasn't
and
this?
by the way, I just want this to be clear. Like, I know some of you are gonna go, "Oh, you're just so toxic about WWE." No, we're just speeding facts. That's
It's a
what we
dumpster
do
fire
around
right
here.
now. It's a dumpster fire right now. I'm like, what are we doing? And what are we doing? And then now, all of a sudden, everybody wants to build up Triple A Glory and NXT Stand and Deliver with a WrestleMania watch party at Madison Square Garden at the theater at Madison
Can
Square
I can I can
Garden.
I say can I
Really?
say this real quickly on this recording? I'm gonna say this, guys. You cannot church up a turd. That's what a lot of you guys that are sitting out there and doing YouTube videos. And I'm trying to keep this professional. Trying to do more
Uh,
talking, more talking. Let me tell you guys, you can't dress up a pig. You cannot justify the high prices to me. You cannot sit down and talk about it. What's a crime to me is WWE has divided their crowds. WWE's made it to where if you're rich, we love you. If you're not, you're middle class, you're poor, go fuck yourself. That's what they're
so,
doing. And they're also doing another thing. They're dividing with subscriptions. It's becoming more of a money pit than even worth watching. Where are you gonna go watch it? Well, all Netflix and VPN if you're in the States and Canada. Or sorry, Canada, you watch it on Netflix. But my point is my point. My point is WWE doesn't care about you, I, or the lamppost at this point. If they want to nickel and dime you, it's becoming for the rich more than the people like me and Smooth out there, and it's sad. It's just in all my years, I'm 35 years on this earth, and I just don't get companies anymore. Companies that I've come to love as a child, that I got up early for, and I bought pay per views for, are just becoming evil, and they're finding every which way in the book to just ruin everything that I've come to love. Like when I talk wrestling to people nowadays, I have to talk about old school wrestling. I can't talk about this newer shit.
No,
There's nothing to write home about the newer shit when it comes to WWE.
and
Danhausen,
like,
let me be real with you. Danhausen,
that was a crime.
that guy has been overplayed, and I agree
That
with a
was a
lot.
crime.
I agree with a lot of people when it comes to him. He has been overdone, and now he's being forced, and
Yes.
and I feel sorry for the man. Every time he goes out now on ESPN, I'm going, he's being forced down our throats.
Yep.
It's sad when he says that thing, that curse that even my co-host was in love with, and give me shit any moment. Now he's going, oh, I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
too much.
It's lost its validity.
It's too much. It's too much. And now Danhausen is signed over with the New York Knicks. So I'm gonna expect more of that come to,
By the
for the
way,
22.
I want to say this to my co-host. Wouldn't you agree with me that curse stuff should be a special moment type deal for WWE?
Yes,
It should be
of
like the
course.
Demon Finn Balor, or like when they
Yes,
brought the urn out with Paul Bearer.
yes. But see, and here's the situation. Now they're gonna say, well, oh well, WWE's preaching, what is it, Satanism with the cursing and all that shit. All right. So here's the situation, as you would say. Leave that for, I would say, special moments. Just come in like very nice, very good, whatever you want to do with it. But now it's just all over the place. I don't even know what the hell they're doing with Danhausen.
Well, they brought
And
down,
then
okay, what they thought was they could bring Danhausen and originally with WWE, and they thought, for instance, they could capture what happened at the end in AEW. What happened at the end of AEW, he was getting over with the comedy gimmick. The problem is with AEW, and I think sometimes with AEW, I wish they would stop being so about pro wrestling sometimes, and just allow a little entertainment. You know what I mean? A little bit more entertainment. They don't have to be so serious all the time. That's the one
but
thing
remember,
I like cut loose a little bit.
but remember that was the problem that WWE was going through when they were in their downturn from what 2018 to 2022.
Well,
The
if you
pro
really
wrestling
okay, Coast, if you really want me to be savage,
mhm,
WWE's been doing this since 2010
2010, of
with
course.
with
Okay.
this whole running gimmicks into the ground. Look at our truth.
Yes,
Look at Stardust. Stardust was funny at first with his brother Goldust, and then it just got ran into the ground to the point to where
yeah.
Cody Rhodes was even hating it, and he was like, "I'm out. Like I won't resign with you folks," and then started talking all this shit, and he left. So it's the same thing now. What's going on with Danhausen, in my opinion? They did this with our truth. Remember back in the day, our truth was shoved around all around.
Yeah.
And you would think at this point with WWE, with Triple H at the helm, you would think it would be different. You think
No,
Triple H would want it to be different, not the same
no.
flash in the pan bullshit.
I mean, listen, as you said, it's been going on for 16 years, and we expect that we're gonna get a better product. Okay. At that time when they started their shenanigans and foolishness with all these gimmicks, TNA was up. Then TNA fell off in 2013. Then it was a 6 year
Well,
gap where
let's get real about TNA back then in 2013. It was right after Bischoff and Hulk Hogan ran it into the ground, and then
yes, ran into the ground.
Dixie Carter tried. You know what? Okay, in fairness, Dixie Carter did try, but the
No,
problem, she did try back then with
she did,
she
but
did with EC3 and Spud Webb. I thought they had something there, And then she found a way with AJ Styles in all of that and screwed that over. The face that
Yeah.
ran the place that wanted to stay, you lowballed him on real talk. She lowballed him. Like I was like, wow. And then she turned around and lowballed John Morrison, all the Cork people. She literally, no joke, lowballed everybody. Austin Aries. Then what did we know about Austin Aries? He went over to NXT next minute after getting lowballed.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, you had that going on. Then there was a gap. Then people felt as though, well, okay, we're going to pick it up with the whole women's, what was it, revolution, whatever it is. No, still couldn't pick it up with that. And you had this gap. Okay. Then AEW comes along in 2019, and in that down, and, you know, in that continual downturn at WWE, it was a little bit better without the gimmicks. People were complaining about the gimmicks.
Well, the problem
Uh,
was here's the problem. You had black and gold at the time, right? And
yes.
Vince had one. Vince could have retooled. The problem he could have
You thought Vince was gonna retool? Oh
what?
damn, he
No, no,
went
no,
down
no,
to
no,
NXT
no.
and
I'm
said,
saying
"Go
is
ahead."
if Vince would have retooled,
Mm-hmm.
right, and allowed younger coming talent there, his farms, that would have been the best. WWE
But
wouldn't have been what it was. Those stale years. If he would have just tapped into NXT and let his brother, I know what you're gonna say. Oh, Vince McMahon would never allow that. But if he did, the show would have been way better.
and that's what I'm saying. He did. He did not allow it.
No,
Remember, because it wasn't his.
no, it wasn't
Remember,
his
what he
correction.
doesn't
Yeah.
allow, it wasn't his. So he had to remake it in his own vision and imagery and his own desire. So now he's gonna. So now he's gonna be screwed over with the Triple H factor of the black and gold, which was the best. That was the best thing going on for
Oh,
what?
I would tune in. I would tune in to Wednesday every week just because NXT was better. I stopped watching Monday Night Raw
That
and
was
SmackDown.
SmackDown. Yeah, that was the best.
I
Listen, for
love
me,
takeover. I love takeovers. I loved when they had
listen,
DIY and all the good
from
stuff.
I'm gonna always say this from the beginning of NXT, which was 2011, no, 2010. 2010 was the beginning of NXT, right?
Okay, so you're thinking
Well, it
of
was
hold on. You're thinking of
original.
the reality show that they had between Raw and SmackDown. The where it
No, I'm talking about when they took over. Remember, they took FCW
that
and
was
they turned it
that was 2013.
2013. No, because okay, so in essence, when they took
Because
FCW
I
from
used to watch FCW, so I had to go through the sports channels that I had at the time on DirecTV,
uh
and
huh,
I watched FCW.
and then
FCW we got who did we get? We got
the
Paige,
Usos,
the Usos, Usos
no,
wife,
Naomi, oh
AJ Lee.
what is it, the pterodactyls, remember them?
Yep.
Then we had
Funkasaurus.
Ro-
Remember him? Tyrus.
yeah, Tyrus, yeah, we got all of that from the whole
Oh, by the way,
FCW,
CJ Parker, now
yes,
known as Juice Robinson in AEW.
oh, him too, yes, oh yes, I remember CJ Parker. You know what,
Riley, whatever his name was at the time.
Riley Osborne.
No. Riley, the one that was like supposedly the next coming of CM Punk, and they never really.
Oh yeah,
And
him.
then he cut a
That was,
pipe
yeah.
bomb himself on NXT and got kicked the next minute out of WWE.
Yeah. Because okay, so that time I would say FCW when
FCW
they
was
took
great shit. And then we got Byron Saxton.
Byron Saxton, I was wrestling through FCW, and
Yep.
Corey Graves.
Corey
Corey
Graves.
Graves that eventually went
Neville.
on over to Neville. That went on over to NXT. That went on that transitioned on over to the NXT brand once they flipped.
By the way,
FCW.
fun fact, you guys, if you guys didn't know this, Seth Rollins was called Tyler Black in
Tyler Black.
FCW, and Roman
Yes.
Reigns was not called Roman Reigns. He was called something else.
He was called something else, and yeah, of course. And That's what I'm saying. When they got FCW and they flipped that and made that into NXT, that was 2010. That was around 2009, 2010 when they started to make that NXT. And that was when you got the Seth Rollins as the first ever NXT champion, and Paige became an NXT champion as well. And from 2010, I'm gonna always say this, from the time that they created in 2010 to the beginning of 2019, those were the best years of NXT. No doubt about it. You can't
NXT.
argue
Okay, I
that.
was correct. NXT Black and Gold. This is what you're talking about.
No, but the
Start
original. Go ahead. Black and Gold.
the original NXT. Okay,
Yes.
there was 3 different NXTs. The reality show NXT where we got Danielson, Bray Wyatt, Ray Ryback or Cryback,
Right
however
back.
whatever you want to call them.
Okay.
So that was the first gen. And that was a reality show. They did it for 3 years. The
Oh
second
yeah,
one,
yeah, yeah.
the
I
second one,
remember that one.
the second one you're talking about, is the real one that you're talking about. Started in 2012, and it was
2012. Okay.
2012, and the first champion ever will be Seth Rollins. You were
Seth
100%.
Rollins. Yes.
And who
That it
handed it?
was
And by the way, who handed him the belt? God bless his soul.
Dusty the American
One of the best moments I've ever. One of the
Dream.
best moments they did
He was a working man. Hey,
it was a
he
great
was
moment
a
for
working man. Listen, I sing that's listen, that's the that listen, when you say that, I sing the song. That's right.
Hey, Dusty Rhodes
Ah.
was great shit. Hard
And
times, the best times.
Dusty Rhodes built that brand up, and he said, "Yo," he said, "Daddy, you be the best wrestler that you can be
You
out
know
here."
who made that black and gold? By the way, guys, it wasn't just Triple H. The second hand man was Dusty Rhodes, to be honest with you.
Dusty Rhodes, Dusty Rhodes. He said, "You make that damn thing better. You make it shine,
And by the
and
way,
make
I don't
sure
know
that when
how
you do
Triple
so."
H. This is my thing, and I've always said this about Triple H. How do you manage to fuck up something when you had 2 legends helping you out in NXT? I just don't get that.
In Shawn Michaels and Dusty Rhodes. Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
I don't know how they find a way to fuck that up. And also, he had also
I'm
what's his
gonna
face
also
Albert. He had Albert there too, helping him out. The
yeah,
big
and listen.
4.
Listen, you had the great 4, and along with and like I said, from that brand, from when that came out when they flipped it over in 2012 to 2019, that was the best years for NXT, no doubt about it. Anybody can argue with me? You go ahead and tell me what else is there.
Oh
How many?
man, I could name you
Listen,
some. I could name you some matches right now. Bailey,
no, I'm
Sasha
just saying.
Banks. I could say
Bingo,
Enzo Amore and Cass versus
bingo, bingo,
Revival. Oh my
bingo.
God,
Remember,
Vaudevillains versus
what
Enzo and Cass. Oh my God.
bingo. Here we
And
go.
guess what? At that time, guess who we had? We had Liva Bates, Blue
That's
Pants.
right. Blue pants.
It was great.
Blue pants. And blue pants. And let's not forget the NXT championship matches that made NXT
By the
possible
way,
within
Ty
that
Mello
era.
was part of NXT
Yeah,
Black and Gold. By the way, ladies and gentlemen.
of course, of course. But let's not forget also the NXT championship matches that made that brand what it was during those years.
Kevin
Finn Balor
Owens,
versus Finn Balor versus
versus
Seth Rollins.
Sami Zayn.
Wait. Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. And then you had a little bit of you had a little bit of that Andrade. Remember him? That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
NXT champion. Okay. And then let's not forget the NXT Women's Championship matches as well. Rhea Ripley, Shayna Baszler, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch going after that. Sasha Banks, and the best NXT Women's Championship match of all time with that brand was Sasha Banks versus Bayley, NXT Takeover Brooklyn 2015. No doubt about it. I don't want to hear anybody. I don't want to hear
That
anybody.
Iron Man match was legendary.
Listen, I don't want to hear anybody argue with me right now. And if you want to go argue with me, I'll let you know why. Those women set the bar. Bayley was it. I don't care if Bayley being the fourth wheel of the damn four horsewomen.
Well,
She put on the
let
match.
me break some knowledge down. What they did in that match alone, they told a story.
Bingo.
You don't have that anymore in WWE. Kids,
They
take
told,
notes. This is where NXT was great. Black Boys, why
they
everybody
told the
talks.
story.
eh,
And remember, let's not forget, you had two championship matches in that main event of NXT Takeover Brooklyn the previous night before SummerSlam that made of 2015 that was possible. It was that match, and it was the other match between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in a ladder match.
Exactly. There you go.
Boom. And I
And by the way,
don't
and I want to tell you guys the reason why we talk about black and gold the way we do, and why we get so excited. There was times, and by the way, the commentary booth was amazing. You had Mario Ronaldo, and let me tell you, which made
Mamma Mia.
which made which made black and gold very very
Black
good
and
with
gold.
Corey Graves.
And he was doing the storytelling. But I
Yes,
didn't like the fact that how JBL criticized him and took him and got him out of WWE. JBL, black eye on you. And you try to do what you got to do in AAA, but black eye on you for getting Mar Ronaldo
he's
out
not good. I
him
never liked
and,
JBL.
and having him go through his mental relapse. Don't not gonna let you get away with that, JBL. Even though you're a Hall of Famer, but you made that happen. But anyways, let's get back to Black and Gold. So we have Mauro Ranallo and Corey Graves. Then it was so fine. What was the best thing that ever happened? NXT took over the main roster and beat them at Survivors and made themselves a name at Survivor Series over the main roster. Nobody can even deny that. That was 2018 in Chicago.
By the way, we all know what happened later down the line. Vince McMahon couldn't
And
have that, and it
yeah,
got.
of course, that was when the NXT women made embarrassed the women on the main roster. The men almost did it. But damn sure they gained the respect, and that was when they had their whole mosh pit celebration.
And by the way, I'm going to say this too. Triple H did a good job at the early onsets of NXT UK. Some of the things in
Oh yeah,
NXT UK were great.
oh, let's not talk about NXT UK. You had some matches. You had Ilya Dragunov versus Walter, that we now know as Gunther. You had Pete Dunne versus Walter, who we now
We had Pete Dunne
Walter.
versus Tyler Bate for the first
Tyler
ever.
Bate
That match would go down in infamy to me when
and
they were
let's not forget
introducing the UK title.
UK title. And listen, and UK, then you have what's his name? Trent Seven.
Yeah, that's
You have
now I believe on MLW now.
MLW. So yeah, you had him and you had Mustache Mountain with Tyler Bate and Trent Seven.
Fun fact: you had Mark Andrews. You had
Mark
you had
Andrews.
you had pretty much you had TNA royalty there standing, and they just botched that. They also had
They
Spud
just
Webb,
boxed him. Yes, Spud Webb too. That we had
Drake Maverick,
Drake Maverick.
that peed himself in the
So
middle of a ring on purpose, and they made him look like a gimmick.
yep.
Thanks,
See,
Vince.
yeah, Vince, dumbass. See, but that's what happened. Vince could not take the fact that NXT whooped the shit out of the main roster. So he had to go down to the performance center and say, you know what, we're gonna screw this shit over. And guess what? He did
You
screwed it
did.
over.
You did.
Screwed over because he didn't like the fact that Triple H built up a brand and beat his ass. I mean, even though it was split down the line with the victory. Okay, the women won, the men almost would have took it, but he didn't like the fact
Yo,
that
I got excited to go watch the WWE Network just for NXT every week at
oh,
Full Sail University.
let's not forget in that Survivor Series match you had Roderick Strong that beat a superstar. Then you had another one that beat a superstar. It was just like Vince was watching that Survivor Series and said, "Shit, what am I gonna
Well, what
do?"
happened was you brought in what was okay. So what made Triple H? Look, Triple H was on one for a while there, and I went, "Oh man, Triple H is the better booker." But then what happened was, this is what happened. Vince McMahon couldn't have that. So what Triple
What
H
the hell?
did?
What the? Uh huh.
What
Yeah.
Triple
Go
H
ahead.
did, was brilliant. He saw the
Yeah.
poll, he saw what was happening in Ring of Honor at the time, old Ring of Honor, and New Japan with the Bullet Club, and he said, "You know what, Adam Cole, baby, I'm gonna grab you, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and a couple other dudes. And I'm gonna bring you all in. You're gonna be the Undisputed Era." That's what he did,
Of course.
and it was legendary when they brought him in. And then he brought
Yes, it
Samoa. Then
was.
he also brought Samoa Joe in.
Yes, he did.
I remember when he brought him in, he made him look like $1 million,
Of course.
and had him win the belt too. On top of it,
Yep.
and by the way, he did bring in what's his name, James Storm, for a minute for a couple of
Yeah.
shows.
Well, a couple of shows, but
Didn't
James
last
Storm said,
long.
James Storm just said, you know what? Nah, it ain't meant for me.
Well, it was more of he didn't get paid. He said he would have the TNA money that was offered to him was bigger than what NXT was offering.
Okay.
That's what he says in on Chris Van Vliet's show. He said, "Look, I tried to talk to Triple H, and Triple H brought me in, and then when they offered me a contract, it was less what TNA was offering me." Same thing with Eric Young. It was very surprising. Then they re-brought him back later down the line in Black and Gold, and then did the whole sanity thing. And I thought they would have gone further than they did, but Vince didn't see that. Vince never really liked dark, scary characters type building. He never really was into it. I don't even think he was into Bray Wyatt like that. Like that. But anyway, we're getting far off topic of what we were talking about. I'm just gonna say this tonight. AEW did a good job in my eyes. Did a good job. I'm not gonna go, "Oh my god, it was the best show ever." No, there's a. I want to speak real quick, and I don't know if my co-host agrees with me with this one. There's a lot of new channels that are starting to experience AEW. Stop the fun love shit. Just call it down the middle, balls and strikes, for shit's sakes. I don't need you to go, "Oh well, it's my first time watching. It's so great. Oh my god." When I watch the WWE show, it's no. Just call it down the middle. You don't need to add shit to it. Just call it down the middle. Balls and strikes. Was it a good show? Was it a bad show? And by the way, to the solid monsters of the world, I'm over all of y'all. Either put your foot in the fucking deep end or not. Stop going, "Oh well, WWE. Oh well, I love them. I love WWE." Stop going all over it. Like seriously, stop it. And it's same thing to JD and Ango and all these other curmudgeons. I don't understand. Just call it balls or strikes. Be fair when you call it. Why is that
But
complicated?
yeah, well, it's complicated because they make it seem that way for themselves, and they can't do it the way that they want to because like we said and we discussed this when WWE radio popped up and after WWE purchased Sirius. Well, we said which content creator is going to be on that payroll next, and
Well,
you'll
okay,
find
so in fairness, that whole what you just said backfired because to be honest with you,
okay.
you're already watching it crumble. So let's just talk about it. The Undertaker
Oh,
pulled out of WWE podcasting.
okay.
So
Well,
that
no,
tells me the
okay,
grass is not so greener on the other side, obviously.
okay. Well, with it, yeah. You know what? Too, I'll take that and say, yeah, I was wrong about it, but you
Well,
know,
no,
yep,
you're right because part of it, yes, I really do think I think the reason Undertaker pulled out is because his wife and him have been getting shit lately for being too much up the WWE chode.
yeah,
That's what that's about.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
that too, and I think too the show's become stagnant.
yeah, yeah, because it's too because when it was him that was doing the podcast alone, it was okay. But then when he added his wife to it, it was like, okay, well, what are we doing
Well,
now?
when
What
he
are we
went away
doing?
from the other co-host that he had, it never recovered.
It never recovered. But
And then his
hey,
wife, like, don't get me wrong, I like Michelle McCool. I think she's cool, but at the same moment, it's like when I listen to
don't get
her, it's like, oh, Okay. Great.
Yeah, go get your own podcast. If you're gonna
It,
do,
it's
if you're,
bland. It's bland.
that's what happened. It fell off.
Yeah.
It fell off. So that's
It's the
why he
same
said,
way I feel about Stephanie's podcast, Stephanie McMahon. I feel like her show's bland,
yeah, I watched a
monotone.
little, I watched a little bit of it, and after that, it was just like, nah. Like, well, what are we doing? What are we doing? We making it feel like Oprah to where everybody's gonna air out their grievances and start crying. Like that whole shit with voice keys, that had me like, what the fuck are we doing?
Royce Keys is a clown anyway. I'm gonna be honest
Like
with
what
you.
the
He's a clown. He's all over. He's a gamudja. He's all over the freaking place. When he talks, sometimes yeah, you got a feel good story, but why didn't you tell the truth about your age? How about the fact you lied? How about the fact you're not truthful about your stay in AEW? How about the fact that you just lie all the time? Like you're fake. That's why I don't. That's why I'm not championing for him in WWE right now as a wrestler. You lied way
yeah.
too much. Yeah,
Well, he
it's like,
should.
bro, his life story is a joke. It's like, bro, can I take you serious? No. Like, okay, you went to the mean streets of. Or is that real, or did you lie about that? See, now I have to question it because you lied about your age, and you've lied about a lot of things. So now I got to turn around and go, are you real? Or are you fake?
I guess. I
You
guess
know
for
what I
him.
mean?
Yeah, I guess for him, if he would have told the truth about his age, WWE would not have looked at him. But because he had to try to get in there, you do whatever it takes to get in. That's like
Well,
what if a man.
to me, WWE would allow him in. Why? Because he was that good in the spurts that he was in AEW. He was that good, and
Yeah,
supposedly they were looking at him anyway. So
they were.
what? Well, why did you need to lie?
No, you didn't need to. And now you're written off of TV.
Yeah, that whole shit was stupid with Jacob Fatu. I don't get that one. That was
That
so
was good.
stupid.
Now he's written off of TV. And then we have to look at another one that is there but haven't made her debut yet. Blake Monroe. Can anybody hear me, Blake? Can anybody hear me? Where's Blake Monroe? Where's Blake Monroe? Oh, she's on the SmackDown roster.
Are you ready for this? You
Wednesday.
ready? You ready, Eddie, for this one? You ready? You ready?
Go ahead.
Ching! Dig, 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 ching! Dig, 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 ching! Dig, 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 ching! Hold on, let me get the hammer out. Tick, 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 ching, tick, tick, tick. She's digging her own grave. That's what's happening. She got buried.
She got buried. Shit.
She's buried.
Already.
If she hasn't been on the
Already.
roster yet and had a match yet, or at least a couple of matches, she's been buried.
Already. Already. Already.
They botched her. Like they had all these vignettes with her. They're doing the same thing like they did Blake, I know. What was her name? What was her name again?
Mariah May.
Mariah May. You're doing the same shit in WWE. It worked in AEW because there was an adult element to it. Here
Of
in
course.
WWE, it's PG'd.
It's
It's not gonna
children.
work.
No.
And your
No.
character, it worked somewhat in NXT. It does not work here. And I don't think Triple H and his team know what to do with you either. That's the fortunate. It's kind of like Eva Marie's situation. They didn't know what to
Yeah.
do with her. And by the way, yes, I'm not comparing her to Eva Marie. I'm just saying if you go by when she was debuting for the first, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, they didn't know what to do.
No. And then I remember, what was it? When she lost that match, she said, I quit.
Yeah, yeah.
When she lost, she said, I quit. I was like, damn. I said,
By the way,
somebody that did.
they know more about booking Jay Cargill that can't wrestle than a Blake Monroe, and that's just sad.
Really? Don't go there. Don't go there.
I'm gonna go there. WWE knows more about booking Jay Cargill and cares more about her and her wig coming off than
Oh,
putting
shit.
that effort into Blake Monroe.
Oh, well, listen. I don't know what that. I
To
don't know
me,
what
it's a
the hell
crime that you're giving somebody that can't wrestle for shit and cut promos, and then you're putting somebody on the bench that knows how to fucking cut promos and wrestle and actually put 5-star matches on than had women. And Blake, for you to say WWE was your dream, obviously it's a dream because you're sitting on the goddamn bench as a six
Yeah.
man. It's sad.
Listen, at least your protege, Tony Storm, did better when she left out of there. Good. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
I'm not trying to roast Blake Monroe. I'm a big fan of
I
Mariah
just,
May.
but that Blake Monroe character said, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work in WWE. WWE is PG
I
whatever it
wouldn't be
is. It's PG.
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Blake Monroe was part of those releases after coming soon.
But see,
I could see
but
that. I could see
I
that
want to know
because
how much. I want to know how much she signed for.
I'm
I
wondering if
want
she
to
got
know.
asked for a budget cut and she
She
said
did.
no, and she said no, and probably is getting released with all the releases.
Oh, so she didn't ask for a budget cut. Well, okay,
Well, no, I'm
okay.
just saying. I'm just saying. Maybe she
hmm
was one of them that, because if you read the reports in WWE land, right? I know we're going back to WWE. If you go into WWE land, there was several wrestlers. They said there was tons of wrestlers that they went to between the companies and asked for budget. And a lot of them refused. So I'm imagining maybe Blake Monroe got asked. This is me speculating, fantasy bookie speculating. Probably she got asked to take a budget cut on her contract.
And she said no.
And that's probably why her push got stifled.
Bingo. Okay. Okay.
That's
Okay.
me thinking about it because take a look at the New Day. Take a look at the New Day before the release, before they said no. They were not getting pushed very well. They were getting sit on the bench.
Yeah. That was what Grayson Waller started to talk about. Now
Take
he's
now,
gonna get.
now, now. Let's talk about Braun Breaker. They keep saying injury, but what I think is because reports came out on him that he really wasn't happy with creative at all. That he stormed
Okay.
out. And then also he was one of the ones that they said about budget cuts.
Oh
So put two
no.
and two together. Why has he not been on TV? See, I start going this way because look at how many wrestlers been hiding on the bench.
True. True.
Here's what I see happening going forward with releases. I see LA Knight being released. I
Yes.
see Blake Monroe being released at this point because where has she been lately? Because
That's
guess
true.
guess what? Guess what? It reminds me a lot of Blake Davenport.
Yes.
It reminds me of a spinning image. You had her come and do these vignettes. You had her do a couple quick matches, and then all of a sudden with Emma Fire and all these different people, she got released, and then it was Ella Dawn next behind it, and it was this person next behind it. So it's kind of in the same vein. And
That's
has Blair Davenport been around in a minute? Like I haven't seen her in a minute.
I have to see where she's at. Damn.
Yeah, I haven't seen her back on TV in a minute.
No, I haven't. Ever since she got released from WWE. Yeah. I mean,
And by the way, when Nikki Cross came back as Sister Abigail, she didn't really get pushed very well either. That's another one.
no, no, no. See, and that's a problem too. Now they have, I mean, that was a problem too. But then, like, we're going back to what we are saying about these wrestlers and taking um, pay cuts. That's not gonna happen because they're gonna tell you, "I work. Listen, I work too hard." They're gonna say to themselves, "Nah, I work too hard for this shit to be in this position
But
to take a pay
again, but
cut."
again, this is TKO we're talking about, formerly Endeavor. Endeavor did this with UFC wrestlers. Look at Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz told
Of
Artie
course, yeah.
Emanuel to go fuck off. I remember the day he did it. He said right there on the stand, if you're gonna lowball me, fine. This will be my last match that I ever have with this fucking company. I'm out. And he did the last match as he said, and he was done. He wasn't staying around, and he went to Bellator the next minute. Now he's in bare knuckle fighting, I think it is. Again, my point, I'm I'm just telling you guys, WWE starts lowballing contracts. Expect a lot of wrestlers to stop wrestling for them.
Yep, that's what's gonna happen. That's what you're starting to see in real time. You're starting
And
to see it in real time.
and I'm just being honest with you guys, ladies and gentlemen. If you watch this, I'm just being honest with you guys. That's what's going on. Back to our last thing. I'm going to say this tonight. AEW did a good job. I'm going to say the show. Honestly, I'm going to be fair. A 7-2. I think it's
Okay,
about right for me.
okay. But for me, for me, I'll give it a that. Yes. I'll give it seven. I'll
I'll
give it
even
a
go a little
7.
higher. I'll say 7.5. I'll be fair.
I'll give it a 7 because for the intertwining and how everyone was in. Matter of fact, everybody, the crowd was into it from the beginning, and it wasn't, and they didn't even touch for a single match. So at least for that, you had that going. Now for the matches, well, okay, like I said, it was a little bit confusing with the international championship match and how you didn't take the belt off of Fletcher to give it to Bailey. And you kind of rushed the match, and they rushed the match a little bit too. You can tell by watching it. They
So the
rushed it a
reason I
little
gave
bit.
it a 7.2 or 7.5 in that ballpark, the reason I did, for one, Mike Bailey, they should have never had cash in here. He should have just waited. There was better
Yeah,
opportunities. You could have done Okada in this situation, had Okada lose to Kyle Fletcher, or you could have had Okada win the belt, have him go into All In and lose because you've made Okada look so stupid anyway. At this point, I don't care who has that title. At that point, Okada just doesn't. He's gone. I'm going to say this in a good way. Okada has gone from in his prime, like a basketball player, into later stages, and it's really starting to show now that.
yeah,
And his physique is kind of changed. Noticed,
it has. So
and it's kind of just
yeah,
like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? He should be further along. He should honestly, he should already been holding the gold belt already, AEW championship belt. He should have already holding it once at this point,
the problem
in my opinion.
is it the problem that he can't speak good English or something? I
No,
don't know.
he speaks perfectly good English. What guys, go watch him cutting a promo in TNA when he was there for a period before he joined AEW. It was
I
the
remember that.
and it was good. It wasn't terrible. So why does TK have to feel the need? And if you feel the need, go get an interpreter for him. Why are
Of course,
why in the fuck are we not doing what we used to do with Funaki or Tujiri,
the
where
Jerry.
where they had like a sexy woman that came out and spoke for him, or like a manager like a Paul Heyman or something of the range. Why are we doing this man dirty? He's way better than that.
Course,
At
of course.
least
I
with
don't.
Shibata, I will say this: at least Shibata, they don't make him look stupid.
No, no. At
So
least
what is happening with? Okay, so one thing AEW that I want to understand: it's a crime to me. You brought Hook back and you did nothing. Where's Hook? Hook, where is he? Because I want him back. Like, this man needs to be pushed a little bit. I feel sorry for the guy. Like, what are we doing? He's always in purgatory. It's like 1 minute we see him for like a couple of weeks and then he's gone. Like, guys, I don't
I
understand this.
mean,
Tony Khan, this falls on you. You had Samoa Joe literally fist pump him and say the ops is yours. You gave him the torch. He's the guy. How much more building of him do you need to do for him to? He should be TNT champion already.
yeah, yeah,
Uh, I don't get that. It's just, and I feel
yeah.
sorry for Taz. Like, Taz is sitting there commentating. I imagine he's sitting back with TK going, "Why are you not utilizing my son like that? Why is my son not being utilized? What are we doing?"
Jeez. And that's what it is. I mean, and Hook is a young talent that now he's along with the wrestling game. He's got moves in his repertoire. So and I mean, yeah,
Why don't you do like what they're doing with Nick Wayne with him? G1 Classic, put him in Ring of Honor, let him do some shit in Ring of Honor for a while as his own entity, build him up. I think Hook could be a top star. I just don't want to see him in WWE, but they keep doing this. This man will go walk into WWE.
yeah, yeah.
And that's a shame.
I mean, right now, and this is where Hook and them could benefit from a roster, a brand split.
Yes. This is why I say, and TK says, oh, well, we don't need that. Yeah, you kind of do now. It's very
Now you
apparent.
need it. Now you need it. Now you need it. Yes.
And by the way,
That's
TK,
how.
I'm going to call you out on this anytime I get it for sitting guys and ladies that don't need to be benched. Camille's a crime to me too. TK, I will call you
Hell,
out anytime I get the chance to because you know what? I don't like when WWE does it, and I don't like when you do it. And we need to
no.
call a spade, a ball. That's a crime. You can go cite all
Put,
the talent you want, my
put,
dude.
put, listen, it's time to get Camille back on TV. Stop it. I don't care what it is. Get her back on.
She
Get
should
her
have
back.
been. She should have been with Divine Divinion. I don't understand that one.
If you're gonna do, no. Then we doing another reunion with her and Monet? No,
No.
no.
You're missing what I'm saying. Put
I
her
get
with
it.
Divine Divinion. Have Monet
But
been
guess
her
what's
own
gonna happen?
entity.
Yeah, Monet would have been her own entity with that. Like now you can't do that.
Yeah, it's
Now you
kind of a
can't.
way. It's like a wasted opportunity. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, now you can't do it. And then I didn't hear Monet say that she runs the Divine Dominion. I don't know if I heard that.
She
Or she
wears
said,
okay. Yeah, she basically kind of did because she wore the get up. She wore the crown. She did the whole
yeah,
thing, and
yeah,
then she
but
also said to the camera, "I am the head bitch of this shit." You didn't hear her say that?
of Divine Dominion? Oh no,
Yes.
oh no, she gonna get up. She gonna get the comeuppance. You watch. Them ladies ain't gonna take it. I don't want to be. I don't
Here's
want
the
to be
thing. What I
her.
didn't understand. Here's my thing. I didn't understand. Right. Here's one thing
Mm-mm.
I want to say this before we end the show or end the recording. You could have had Camille, right? Think about this. You could have had
Yeah,
Camille. You could
before that,
have.
yeah, it's coming out. Mm-hmm.
You know who you could have added to that group too? That would have been really cool. Instead of having the Brawling Birds, you could have added Alex Windsor a part of that Divine Dominion group and had them all as goddesses.
Oh, oh,
And you could have had Camille, her,
oh.
and it would have been like an evolution slash. It could have been an evolution slash like a Nation of Domination type deal. You could have, or like an APA badass group where these four women could be your pillars for the future, and then they could have them all win belts together, kind of like how they did Evolution back in the day.
But
But
it'll,
again, TK, to me, TK and the missed opportunities, man. It's like I tell this about Triple H too, the same thing.
and people's gonna
And by
say,
the way, people that are watching this or listening, I know some of you are going to comment down below. Well, TK, no, I don't want to hear excuses. Brand split. He should fix the roster issue somewhat. I'm not going to go into there's too many belts. There's not too many belts. If you want to say there's too many belts, that's on you. But to me, there's not too many belts in AEW. It's more of AEW doesn't know how to utilize the belt they have properly at times. And don't get me started. WWE has the same problem. I'm just waiting for Danhausen to have his own belt called the Danhausen 24/7 belt.
oh brother, listen,
I call
uh,
that one.
listen, right? Danhausen, y'all deal. Listen, Danhausen dealing with wrestling, but we got to deal with him as Knicks fans.
I feel sorry
So,
for every Nick fan right now because his shit's bland.
oh man, he gonna be with what is it? He gonna say Jalen Brunsenhausen or Josh Harthausen or
I
I'm a
can't
Norton
wait. I can't
Hausen.
wait for Danhausen at the beginning of Knicks games where they have the little shoot thing that they do where
Yes,
he's in the little cannon. I can't wait for it. I
he's
can't
like
wait for it.
what is he signed over? Oh, they signed him as something like a brand ambassador. Oh shit.
I can't wait for him to be in the little cannon thing that they shoot him across the
I'm
arena.
like, damn, you signed him over the brand. They signed it. He got some good money from the. He gonna get some good money coming to him from the Knicks. I'm like,
Hey, by the way,
is
I
that,
can't wait for Danhausen to be at Rangers games next.
I don't. Oh, damn. Come
Hey,
on.
can Danhausen just sit at Jets games because they suck? They're in the
Oh,
toilet bowl.
yeah, yeah. Well, Jets. Okay, not a problem. Good, but
Well,
Knicks.
come on, sit and just sit there and Let him go. You're cursed.
Yeah, don't come to no. Don't mess with some of the Giants games or Yankee games.
You know
We're
what
good.
Danhausen really upsets me on is the fact that he tries to act like he's Papa Shangalo. You not notice that they like he's like a lighter version of Papa Shangalo and he's like all terrible.
I mean, well, he's not gonna let you go further than that. You already know.
Look,
Listen,
look, I love me some Papa Shangalo, okay? Back in the day, formerly now he's the pimp.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, listen. You already know they not.
My pimps, my hoes,
Oh yeah,
the
you talking about
Godfather.
the Godfather? Oh yeah, Papa Shangalo. Yeah.
I love when he was
Yeah.
Papa Shangalo, and every time I see fucking Danhausen, I just feel like, yeah, you're trying to be Papa Shangalo 2.0, brother.
By the way, the Godfather looked good at 62.
And you know what? I know I know Val Venus may have said some questionable shit in his life and some really off the wall shit, but he just came out of retirement. And you know what? For being almost 60, damn, dude, you look pretty fly for being 60, my dude.
Who's
And
that?
Val Venus.
Oh, Val. Yeah. Listen, Val Venus. Val Venus was one that he could go in the ring. He said, "Hello, ladies."
Yeah, kind of in that creepy get down by the river.
Well, listen, I do the same thing too. I come down like, "Hello, ladies. How you doing?" What?
Do you have a van down by the river like Chris
I
Farley
listen.
says?
I did. Listen, I continue to do that at SmoothPana. I'm like, "Hello, ladies," and they be like, "Ooh." Some of them. Listen, if you listen, I'm
I
not gonna
have a
say.
Cadillac, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
I'm not gonna say too much about it because if you know, you know.
Oh
If you know,
my.
you
Oh
know.
my.
That's all I'm gonna say. If you know, you know. That's it.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to rate, like, and subscribe if you haven't. There is gonna be a whole bunch of videos uploaded. I got a video about Sony's physical media. I got a video about Madden, our Raw review type deal / talking about SummerSlam, and now this one.
Yeah.
We will be back when
Let me see. We will be back. Well, let me see. Damn, because this weekend I'm probably out. Like, what's going on? That's what.
by the way, guys, I know I've slacked off. There will be an MLPW, somewhat of a review for me tomorrow, sometime tomorrow. Expect it on top of all the reviews.
Okay.
I need sleep because after this, I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna get a little sleep. I'll get
Yeah.
up. I'll edit everything all at once, so you all have it. So you guys will get that.
Of course. Listen, we'll probably we will definitely talk about when we're gonna be back because this weekend here is one busy week. Is gonna be a busy weekend for me. So
If
yeah.
you don't see anything on the weekend, you guys will see me streaming because I got to get back. So coming out of hiatus, there will be some streaming. So we'll probably reconjure probably Monday because Smooth's going to be
Monday.
busy. But you guys are going to get live streams for me. So talk all the wrestling with me you guys want while I'm streaming, playing video games, catching up on the video games.
And who knows? And who knows? I may pop in.
There you go. Um, make sure to rate, like, and subscribe. Pana's down below in the description. Check him out. The
That's
co-host, the
right.
one. All my links are down below. Yeah, technically, there'll be more videos coming. I got some beverage reviews coming for you guys too. I've been trust me when I say this to each and every one of you. I got lots of footage coming, lots of content. It's just I'm lazy and I had plumbing issues and yeah, this weather's just been messing with me to the point to where it gets so hot in my house, I want to go to bed. I'm so tired. Like the hot weather just sucks the life out of me. To be honest with you guys, the time I get doing chores and get the day going and I get halfway to noon, I'm dying. I'm dead. I'm like, I just want to go to bed.
Yeah, I understand that because it gets too high and you say, "Oh no." Nope, can't do much anymore.
Well, I'll tell you guys this. I was at Stater Brothers the other day, and I was walking through the grocery store, and then I got all my stuff, groceries with my food cart stuff and all that, and for the month. And I came out the door, and I tell you what, that sun and that dry heat. I came home, unloaded groceries. I wanted to go back to bed. I wanted to take a nap. I wanted to take an old man nap. You see this at 35? I'm talking about old man naps at 35.
Listen, I can't blame you for it because when it gets hot, man, you want to take that nap. You damn right.
Oh well, what I wanted to do was I actually dipped my head in cold water, like ice water. They tell you to do that
Yes.
if you feel
Oh yeah.
hot and exhausted. They tell you that's the first thing you do to cool yourself down immediately.
I know. That's what. Listen, I do that as well. I do that as well. So
And I couldn't
definitely.
imagine on the east side of things, on the East Coast side, I couldn't imagine with the humidity.
Oh yeah, because right now we got a little bit of heat that picked up from yesterday, Wednesday. So now we're gonna have that going until Tuesday. So it's gonna be mainly um hot and humid. So yeah.
Oh, and one other thing in this recording, I'm going to tell you guys, stay tuned from us. We are going to be talking about the U.S. Open tennis that's happening in the next week or two.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Serena and Venus are going to be there. Serena is wearing an ankle bracelet, or not an ankle bracelet. She's wearing a knee brace. So stay tuned on
Okay.
that. We'll keep you guys updated on that if something happens, good or bad, with her. I'm hoping. She said she's going to do singles. She's not confirming it yet, but I'm really hoping Serena just stays to the doubles because I don't want her to get hurt. If she's wearing a knee brace, I don't want her to get hurt. That's my
Okay.
big that's my big fear with her. I don't want her to blow an ACL or an MCL or a PCL. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Those are the
No.
worst. And I will say this about Serena. I'm going to say this to you, Serena. You should have stayed retired. I know you're doing it for your kids. You should stay retired.
Yeah.
Senior tour. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. I'll see you guys on the next one.